Oh, that's such a thoughtful
That's a good question. They're like, let's form a band. We were just like, hi, I'm Sofia. I'm singing for you today. So
Like, let's play the key of
good
A.
question.
Okay,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. I call bullshit.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Where like we had this life in our eyes.
which we no longer have. Like I don't have much going on. Like I work, I do this band thing.
If
But-
you have not so much going on, how come it's so hard to contact?
Like if you're able to write these words and this melody, most of the time, if you're able to sing it yourself, there's like another dimension to that.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Once and Always a Fanboy with me, your host, Chris Cantada Force. You know, when I first saw this band on my feed, I was struck by how different they sounded from a lot of Gen Z bands out there. What really hooked me was the dynamic between their voices, the unique blend of male and female tones that just clicks. At the time, I was finishing the last song on my album, and I wanted a distinct female voice to add depth to mine. And that's exactly what happened when Sofia agreed to sing backup for me. That's also when I found out we're both K-pop fans, which honestly made everything make sense. It took a while for our schedules to finally line up, but it did. So now me and everyone here at the Pod Network are so thrilled to have them with us today. Fangirls and fanboys, Renzo and Sofia of Any Names Okay.
Yay!
Thanks for
It's
having
finally
us.
happening.
So let's go back to like the beginning. So you all came from the UP Music Circle. Is that correct?
Yes.
So what was the atmosphere like there that made a band like Any Names Okay possible?
Oh, that's such a thoughtful
That's a good question.
Faces kagad.
Yeah, I think we get asked a lot about how we're formed, but never in that way. Well, I think thinking about it now, I think in the UP Music Circle specifically, there's just this air of. Sorry, am I allowed to swear in this?
Go!
Like,
Do it.
just like not giving a fuck.
Yeah, okay.
So I think that's what allowed us to just do whatever we wanted. We always say that like we formed very randomly because in the application process of the org, you're meant to form a band with people you don't know. So of all the members, I only knew Renzo, and we had just met because we were course mates. So I had
okay.
just met him also.
Shout out UP Mascom.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think it was just that. Like we formed without pressure to succeed. And honestly, a big part of it, I think, was luck that we ended up with the group that we have. That we kind of clicked and had the same energy. So yeah, for me it was that. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think the thing that was nice about, because I remember doing our first, of course we were only doing covers at the start of the, and
like everyone, I guess.
like everyone, but like we were doing not just international stuff. We were doing like international songs, but we were actually doing covers of Four of Spades, Ben and Ben. I think it was really a time, because it was 2017, where the indie scene was really like, it was palpable. Like you could feel this groundswell support and like this almost just insanely unique like feeling. I guess in similar ways that I grew up listening to bands like, again, Urban Dub, Sponge Cola, even Sugar Free. It's like, and I think there was that energy at that time when I was growing up. It almost felt similar to when we were starting, and like that mixed with that feeling of like we kind of didn't know if we were gonna succeed, even want to. I think at the time, it was just like, let's see where this goes, because we love music. And there are people around the scene right now, like Lola Amor and Clara, who were on the show. Like, we're rising also. So it was kind of fun. It was such a different time, I think.
Yeah, I think in particular, in that year, it was like OPM or the scene was having a comeback.
Yeah.
I think there was definitely a dip before that, and then so we were also just lucky to have
You
been
rode the
able to
wave.
ride the wave. Exactly, yeah. So
Can you also take me back to the very first jam session and like what it sounded like, and would you recognize that version of yourselves today?
no,
No, not
I
at
don't
all.
think so. Like I think again because we didn't know each other. The first jam was really like getting to know each other. Like it's not like with most bands na they're like, let's form a band. We were just like, hi, I'm Sofia. I'm singing for you today. So
Like,
so
like a
yeah,
business
so it's just
transaction.
like I didn't know what music they liked. or we didn't know what the like each other, like we didn't know what we liked. We didn't even know what music we would make together. Like we hadn't decided on a genre or anything. We were just like, I just want to get into this org. So hi.
So what was the sound that came out of it?
Honestly,
Let's play the key of
Good
A.
question.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's like, did it harmonize or no?
Oh no, I don't even remember.
You know, I'm trying to recall which studio it was. It's definitely a defunct studio near the
Red
Katipunan
Verb,
area.
I would say.
Red Verb.
Okay.
It was near like the most Matalino
The
area.
Teachers Village area.
And I remembered specifically we came in and I just vividly recall doing like a bunch of playlists. Like, here are some of the songs where like maybe a female vocalist could shine. So some of the stuff that were there, again, like it was local bands, even Ransom Collective. We had like a few pegs. And then some of the songs we did end up singing, which were like Jackson 5 songs.
Yeah, I think overall, I think when we started, and even until now, I think more than anything, we tried to focus on our performance. Because I think in terms of genre and songwriting, like at the start, we were doing covers. So there wasn't a lot of exploring in terms of like creating music, like original music. So what we could work on together was really performance. And I think personally, that's what helped us stand out. Like we tried to be very energetic on stage, like even at our first few gigs, which were like school events, or we tried to have like an original energy.
Got it,
because
yeah.
we didn't have original music yet.
we would straight up kind of dance on stage.
Yeah, like we were that kind of corny humor, but when we perform, it's like all in. So I think that was the vibe, yeah, more or less.
So I love how each of your releases feels different. Like you're constantly experimenting with your sound and exploring new genres. Is there a genre that secretly scares you to try, but also kind of excites you at the same time?
Metal joke.
Metal.
I'm ready.
I love how you say
Metal.
Or are you living in like the sound you want the band to sort of explore na? Or is there always like let's try other
Yeah.
For
places?
sure, there's
Yeah.
always that.
I think that's the fun thing about it because I think even like our songwriting style has changed a lot, but we do a lot of the work. Like we will really kind of maybe have some semblance of an idea, a riff or something. We'll really just lay it out in the studio when we're all together. And sometimes we're just like, especially our other bandmates, Anton, Lada, and Arvin, they're also such experimental people to be like, hey, you want to try this sound? Do you want to try like this almost samba groove on this? Do you want to try like making it a little bit heavier, experiment? And I think that's kind of the thing that's always been nice with us because even our name is Any Name's Okay. It's literally like anything goes.
Anything goes.
Anything goes.
And of course there's stuff that like kind of freak me out. I honestly even putting sometimes like very, very straightforward like pop synth sometimes I'm a little bit that kind of scares me. But then I think I feel a little bit fearless whenever I write, whenever I'm with the band. I think that's one of the like the good things I've felt, especially within the last few years. Like almost anything can go and we'll make it just our own, I think.
Yeah. I think we also, all of us have different musical backgrounds.
Okay.
So like for example, Arvin, our drummer, I would say is the most versatile musician, or like he has the most diverse influences because he's a full-time musician. So he plays for musicals, he teaches, he does orchestra, he studied music. So like I think he's the perfect example of like he brings in external influence into the band. And then like Renzo and Lada were in a band together previously that kind of played what genre would you say?
We had one original song, so the genre is unspecified.
Oh, okay. And then Anton also, he comes from a family of musicians, and then I come from a more classical background. So I think that mix of influences, we try to let each other shine in different aspects. I don't think we're ever like, of course, when we write songs, we all equally want to contribute, but I think we do have moments of like, I think Lada should have a solo in this, or Lada should, or Arvin should take over this part, or it should be like a reply, drums, vocals, ganon. So, I think we try to maximize the fact that we're not solo musicians. So there's a lot of like interaction I would hope that goes on when we write music. So that's why when people ask us also what our genre is, we're always like alternative pop, because we feel that, or we hope that each song kind of achieves a pop plus something. So it's like folk pop, or a little bit rock leaning, or a little, I don't know. So yeah, I think that's our headspace.
I'm looking forward to the metal
The
pop.
metal pop.
I think game. Chris, you ano? Gusto mo mag-drums?
Metal pop. No.
Post,
Like what you said, no, you guys formed without any expectations. Pero like you, Renzo, as a singer as well, was the decision for you to split both singing right away? Or were you like, oh, Sofia, why not, like, you'll be the singer? What was that dynamic like na, hey, I want to sing too?
Oh, that's
I don't think we had that conversation.
yeah.
I think it was just like,
it kind of just
flowed.
happened.
yeah, it was just like, I know Renzo can sing, and I'm not gonna be the one to say don't sing. So
I think more of like internally, because
Para, Renzo,
yeah,
wait.
para like
hold on, hold on. No, I think also internally, like I just knew, because I was like, sure, I was writing, I was singing, I was doing open mics before, but I always felt I was more like a songwriter. I think, and I could sing, sure, but I knew, because like I guess we were friends for like a few months before we joined the band. I knew that she could actually sing because she was doing like
not actually.
sorry, not to like
like
diminish.
you're not actually singing.
No, I don't. No, so but I just knew it's like, okay, I think skill-wise, number one, I think Sofia objectively could bring a bit more power than like what I could. Because honestly, I felt like for the first year or two, I felt like it was easier for me because I was kind of hiding behind even like that talent. And also, I think just in general, at the time, I think I already recognized it from the start, where in the music industry in general, I think regardless if it was like years ago or now, there's not a lot of like women in music, especially I think in the local indie scene. So I think like kind of giving like Sofia also that space to really be like, okay, like you be the front person. Like we can always work together and like we can always write together. But I kind of want to give you also this space to be like, okay, what do you want to do? Because I guess like of course it was tough. There was always like that feeling sometimes like, oh, I want to share like my story. I want to be the hero. But I think the older that we've gotten, parang I didn't feel that anymore. I think it's because I just enjoyed the dynamic now. And the thing that like has challenged me recently is actually to be a better songwriter and to be better at like harmonizing, finding those things, and also being a better guitar player. That's more of the stuff that I've been handling, which to me is a little bit more challenging. I guess like approachable to me since I've never really had formal training for singing. So yeah.
So, as I was listening to you saying na, like, you're an okay singer, blah, 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 I call bullshit.
Yeah, I was gonna say like, what are
I was
what
just
are we
fishing.
talking
I was
about?
fishing, Chris.
Because with the register that you have, I mean, not a lot of guy singers can stay in
Yeah,
that
I
register.
agree.
And especially, you're in a band that the female singer is very comfortable going high.
Yes.
That means usually the guys, they have to go low. But you, it's not the case. So that's, as I was listening to your music recently again, just to get in the zone, I'm like, I can't sing these songs. Damn you, Renzo.
I've become a better singer because of Sofia.
Wow.
No, because honestly, I think like even like I don't know. I'm sure that it's like whenever we're in recording, sometimes you'll even say, because again, like it's the classical training background to almost be like, especially some songs that are like much higher. You're like, try not singing it from here. Try singing it here. And if maybe like even in a song like Yugto, you're like, try and shout it out. It might feel weird, but then I think you'll hit that note like much easier. And I think even small stuff like that has become easier, because the challenge has really been, of course, like trying to come up to a level where it can match in harmony or match in melody with Sofia. And I think just overall, that's been like honestly one of the best things that's come out of being a part of this band specifically. And I wasn't fishing, guys. I promise. Dito talaga.
Okay.
No, but I do understand like over time it has become more of an earned skill because I've had to, of course, like match in some way what Sofia is doing at a great level, at a high level.
And I feel like inversely, I've also learned a lot as a vocalist from being in a band. Because again, prior, I was more of a performer, like classical. Like I would do the recitals, and I was never performing my own music. It was always a piece, right?
Yes.
So I think with the band, especially also just to return the compliment to Renzo, I guess.
I don't
Like,
need it. I don't need it.
No, because he is used to singing his own stories, right? So I think, especially in recording, I think early on, my struggle was adding my own personal touch to singing because I think I would approach it so like note by note and just clean as possible. But sometimes, especially in pop music, that's not what people look for.
Yeah.
They like the rasp, they like the cracking
The
if it gets
character,
emotional. Yeah. So I think with the band, that's what I've been trying to learn. And of course, being able to perform my own songs for the first time. I mean, at least, before it was like the first time. I think it has added another dimension to what singing could be for me. So I think to answer your question about how we balance, I think we're both looking for different things as vocalists, and we both have different things. We have different strengths and different points of improvement, I think. So yeah, I think we just try, if we're talking about like our dynamic, I think we try to give each other opportunities to be better. Like if there's a song where I feel that Renzo is kind of like recoiling a little, like I can't reach that note, or I don't, even if he wrote the whole
Most
song and he's like,
songs.
can you do this verse? I'll be like, maybe you want to do it. Maybe, because especially if it's something he wrote himself, I'm kind of, that's kind of my automatic thinking. Like if you wrote words, like if you're able to write these words and this melody, most of the time, if you're able to sing it yourself, there's like another dimension to that. So yeah, I think we're just honestly kapa-kapa rin, like all the time.
Even until now, or have you kind of figured out that little comfort zone key that both of you be wild at?
I think yes, because before, I remember in my first year, like or two, we were actually like, we would kind of like lay it out like, okay, this is your line, this is your line, this is your line. And then sometimes we'll kind of have like a song ready, and I already know like when we're playing, it's like, oh, I know for a fact like Sofia is going to be singing this. I'll probably have a harmony here, and then we'll talk about it, and we're like, oh yeah, I want you to put harmony here. And we kind of don't have to like fully discuss it anymore. I think it's just almost, people say it all the time with musicians, it's like, what does the song need?
Yeah.
Like, how do you service this to the best that like you can do it as a group? And I personally think like, of course, it's still this process that we're always ongoing. Like we're about to hit 8 years, and I think it's better that there's always a process ongoing, because like if it just becomes the same formulaic thing, like are you still really growing anymore as a musician? So when we hit this, especially within the last few years, I think it's become easier to almost gauge like, okay, I'm sure that like Soph wants to take this, like Soph knows I want to take this, and it's become easier. Sometimes in the recording booth, we haven't even discussed it. We'll be like,
we'll
oh, we'll
just go
take this,
there.
right? It's like, oh yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And I think in terms of like the key, just like to answer your question also, I don't think well, number one, I'm gonna admit my music theory is not the best. So if you asked me what key the songs are in, I couldn't tell you. Like I wouldn't be able to say like, oh, Tabing Dagat is key of this E. A. Yeah,
Correct,
I knew that
correct, no,
pala.
correct.
I knew
Good
that.
job.
The key of rock.
Yeah, it's the key of, vibes.
The most important key.
But I don't think we try to limit ourselves in terms of like range.
Yeah.
I think especially me, yun nga, like I'll always challenge both myself and Renzo, like, hindi kaya mo yan. Like, it's too high. No, it's just, that's all in your mind. Like,
But si Soph pag gigs, parang, bakit ang taas ng song na to? It's like,
Yeah.
Soph, I think this is your song.
yeah, I just think it's so fun to like challenge your range also. I think like a healthy relationship with singing is also like being unafraid to try to like, I think I can go half a tone higher, and then like more and more. So
Songs are such a beautiful and magical thing, especially if you're singing something that you actually wrote. So, have you ever written something though that only made sense to you emotionally months after you've finished it?
Always.
Always.
That's a great question also, yes. Honestly, like Clouds at the time. Because when we wrote the song, it didn't make sense. Like it was just a pop song.
Yeah. Like the story of Clouds is literally, we had our first ever non-UP gig that Renzo, it was supposed to be just Renzo, and then he was like,
Oh yeah, like
let's
oh,
make
there's
it a band.
Yeah, it's a band.
So we literally, I think the day of or 2 days before the actual gig, we got into a studio and we're like, we should probably have one original song, right? Like to play along
Yeah,
with
to play.
I Want You Back by the Jackson 5
And
Mundo,
Hey Barbara
and
and
Mundo
Mundo.
by Four of Spades. We should probably have one original. So we went to the studio. We were there for 2 hours, and then we just wrote Clouds.
What?
Like, and if you'll notice, there's literally a lyric that's just la 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 la, because I
That
was
was
like, I can't
placeholder.
think of anything now, so I'll just put something next time. But then it became a thing, and then there's no going back. Like I didn't even change the lyrics anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And like and over time, I think it's just made more sense to me. Na it wasn't meant to be like this is musically like very adept.
like
no, like
the time
greatest
signatures
song-
or whatever.
Yeah, but we did play around with time signatures. We were like doing meter changes there. But I think I realized again. I think I only realized this within the last year, genuinely. Where like over the last year, I just realized that this was a song that was meant to introduce us to some people if they just like something positive. And honestly, over time, I think you've also like the same. We've gone through this phase where it's like, oh, this song again, like is the only song that like people are gonna know us for.
Yeah.
And then I realized, especially over time, where the listener base has grown, like some songs have really gone into those people, and I realized like, okay, you know what? People, especially musicians, younger musicians, wherever time it is, they're hoping for one song. They wish they could have one song where people could sing along with them.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like, of course, there's always a point where you're like, oh, we want to like take over this one. We want to have a bigger song than this one.
Yeah, we want to have a new Clouds.
Yeah, we
So
want to have
say,
new Clouds.
Like, please let any other song replace Clouds.
But sometimes when I see people like genuinely like saying like Clouds was the thing that they listened to in the pandemic. It's how we found out about you guys in 2018. And it's like, okay, I think it was really meant to be
Pwede na to.
or like almost like a door into.
Yeah.
It's not the most majestic door, right? It's not the most
Well-written door.
well lit door, but like it was the thing, and it was like a time capsule of us as 17, 18-year-olds. Where like we had this life in our eyes.
Which we no longer have. Yeah.
It's such an intimate thing writing songs, but when you play them live, it becomes like a community na. Was there a lyric or a line that hits differently when you hear the crowd sing it back to you?
Good question. I think for me it's Vivid. We have a song called Vivid. It's actually about
I know.
K-pop.
Yes.
Of mine. Just to just shout out. But
Army, stand up.
no. So I think with Vivid, like it wasn't by any means a special song. I think up until recently, because when we released it, it wasn't even a single. It wasn't anything really. It was just part of our first EP. But it's normally or usually our first song. Like when we do a gig, it has this like abrupt entrance that I think sets the tone for the rest of the set. But recently, I think we have a community called like the Any Over Ridley's community, where it's basically listeners of us, Any Names Okay, Over October, and the Ridleys. So they have this little group which we really love to like see all the time at gigs. But there's a line in Vivid that goes, no doubt, no fear. What?
No doubt, no tears.
and none of the fear in me. And they have like a fan chant or something. Like it's like a call and response thing that they repeat after us. And it became a thing maybe in the last couple of years. But yeah, I think that
It's nice. Parang
That-
fan chant.
yeah, parang feeling ko I'm like a
And
K-pop idol.
I have no idea who like started it.
Yeah,
genuinely.
it just so now
that's
it's like it
cool.
feels like an irreplaceable part of our set because
Hmm.
the listeners have made it something to enjoy more at
So they have their part.
yeah, they have their part and like I'm always confident that if I say like sing it with us, there's going to be somebody singing
Yeah.
it with us. So and for me that song again, it's obviously super I didn't expect it to go anywhere because it's written about my K-pop ultimate bias, right?
Which is
Like,
whom?
yeah, which is I don't even want. But like I didn't expect it to mean anything to anyone. But now that there's like at least 5 people at every show shouting lyrics back to us, it feels more special. And the song is about like dreams, you know. It's a very simple thesis that's chasing your dreams or taking a leap of faith. So yeah, I'm glad that it means something to other people now.
Vivid is actually my clouds.
Oh really?
Oh.
Oh.
You know what I realized? Musicians love Vivid. Like a lot of because like a lot of the colleagues from like the scene, they would be like, you know what? Like Vivid's my favorite song. Like Raymond the Flola Amor previously was always like whenever they invite us to shows, it's always like, please play Vivid, please. That's my Raymond.
Well,
Please play Vivid.
I'm glad that for some people it's our clouds. So
Yeah. Who knew, no?
Yeah, who knew?
Taeyong of
Thank you, Taehyung of BTS.
Taeyong of BTS. Maraming salamat.
Breathe in and out. You deserve peace, and sometimes peace starts with a clean home. With CleanWorks, you don't just get a spotless space, you get mental clarity. Professional cleaners, systematic service, hygienic, safe, and stress-free. Let CleanWorks handle the mess so you can focus on what truly matters. Rest, family, or just your time. Clean space, calm mind. Book now at CleanWorks PH on Instagram or Facebook, or call 0966 200 6910 to schedule your cleaning. Because self-care starts at home.
Since this show is called Once and Always a Fanboy, I'm curious, what are you currently fanboying or fangirling now? That's not music. Para iba
Not
naman.
music.
Ooh.
Okay. I have an answer. I'm not sure if you're an anime
Not so.
watcher or manga reader, but my favorite anime of all time is getting a new season soon. It's called JoJo's Bizarre Adventures.
Okay.
And so yeah, that's my comfort show. Like when I don't know
That's
I'm
your
gonna-
comfort show.
yeah, it's one of those shows that people either really hate it or are like obsessed with it. And
Okay.
obviously I'm on the obsessed side. Like it's hard to convince people to watch it. And I get it. I get it. But
And she's
also,
tried with the band.
I've tried so many times to convince. I've only convinced maybe like one person, and that's like pending. I don't even know if they're watching it. Yeah, like unsure. But yeah, that's what I've been watching lately. I think it's just so insane. Like the show, it's just weird. Like, but in a really good way. Like I think it pushes like it doesn't even follow logic really, which I really enjoy because it's like
Okay.
in your day to day,
Ah.
I feel like you're so limited by a lot of things. But when I watch this show, it's like literally anything can happen. Like you don't know what's gonna happen next. So yeah, that's what I've been fangirling over.
Okay.
Yeah,
What about
me, I'm for like as long as I can remember, I've been a huge Pokemon fan. Like, I am the type of person I've played most of like the mainline games. The anime is the thing that I've not really gotten into much, but even then, like when I'm at conventions, when I see like an anime voice actor from the show, I will like make sure to get the photo or like get something signed. And just in general, even like cards, I know they're booming right
Yeah.
now. Even my phone case is
Yes.
like my phone case
Show
is
it.
is a
Oh,
is a
ako rin,
Pokemon.
JoJo's.
Oh my god!
Wow.
Yeah.
Now I feel like good that we're actually on the show. So, so like I've
Share everything, guys.
it's been such a whirlwind, especially that like it's just nostalgic to me. I love it so much. Like even like small trinket toys. So I know gachapon stores, they hate to see me coming.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this guy again.
This
it's like,
guy.
I'm gonna get this pachirisu pouch
Yeah.
from this. And in general, also in the podcasting space, I think Conan O'Brien for the longest time has been my idol. He has this
Yeah.
Conan
always listen
number
to his,
one, like comedy, the way he talks to people.
He's my favorite talk show late night
Yeah,
host.
I see a little bit of Conan in you, Chris.
I don't have the hair.
That's not what I meant.
Has being a fan ever taught you something that made you a better artist?
Yes, always.
Do tell.
Literally, I write songs about the things that I'm a fan of. Obviously, Vivid. But there's also one song that I don't know if we're releasing as a band, but we have tried to arrange it. It's about Jujutsu Kaisen.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
It's an anime. Like I'm because I personally, honestly, I'm kind of a very boring person. Like I don't have much going on. Like I work, I do this band thing.
If
but-
you have not so much going on, how come it's so hard to contact you?
It's like it's all work.
No, I'm just an introvert. No, but like
I'm
yeah, I
like-
think more.
Di pa nakikita ni Sofia. Sige, wag mo.
I'm so sorry. But
Don't worry,
no, I
ganyan din
mean,
siya sa amin. The joke.
that's fair. Yeah. But I think like I don't have I feel sometimes that I have nothing to write about from my own life. Or maybe I'm just not thinking hard enough about my own life. But I tend to go to stories of like books or
Got it.
shows or even other songs that I love, and I write about that instead when I don't have anything that I can pull from my personal life. I think to answer your
I
question,
feel like that is your personal life. Your
that's
love,
fair. That
your
is
love
so
of
true.
your fandoms.
Yeah, I think so too. I think
Because
like-
it's something so close to you
yeah.
that you don't even realize it.
Yeah. Like
This
it's
has
something-
become a...
like I realized I've been thinking about this.
It's like a therapy
Like a-
session.
Yeah, exactly. Like I've been thinking about this character for like 2 days straight. So I think to answer your question about how being a fan of other things I hope makes me a better artist is I think it forces me to develop the skill of like walking in someone else's shoes. Like trying to see what the story really is, or like if I was this character, even if it's like an anime, so it's animated, like what would I do or what would I feel, or like yeah, parang what would it be like to live as this other person?
Para lang it's not all consume.
Yeah.
There's actually something that's coming out.
Yes, for sure. I think that's what I'm realizing also about being a creative person in general. The research is really to like live and to enjoy and to learn as much as possible. Of course, there's literal learning like reading and doing your research on your projects. But I think the research for art is also just having experiences. And what like I can't think of a better way to add to your experiences than by learning from other people's experiences. So I think the things that I'm a fan of, I get really attached to like the stories also. Like even in music, sometimes that's my struggle because I'm a lyrics girl through and through. Like I'm a words person. So sometimes when I write a song, the melody makes no sense, but the lyrics are there. So I think that's also how I view artists. Like I get more attached to an artist if I can read about their life or like what were their parents like or where did they grow up or things like that. So yeah, I think the ability to just be someone else is very important to me personally. Yeah.
As you guys said a while ago, like one of the main points that you wanted to really grow as a band is the performance, right? When I see your live stuff, you guys really look like you're having a great time on stage.
Thank you.
But I know every group has, they go through, some challenges behind the scenes that none of us, regular folk are privy to, diba? Was there ever a breaking point or a creative clash that really tested your bond? And how did you work through it?
Every day.
Was there ever a let's break up point?
It was around the time, so our second EP, Leaving Home, was our graduation like EP. and it's honestly kind of a sad like project, as in it's like the cover art is this almost lowly bed in the wilderness, and around the time we were all like starting up like new jobs. I think we were also like a few of us also were kind of in like personal matters that like were quite difficult.
And also the pandemic.
The pandemic.
Like a big knife
Like,
in the
yeah.
back of everything.
Like we had
were
no
trying to
shows.
do.
Like we did not like doing online stuff.
Yeah,
It
how
was
do you do
tough. It was
online
so
shows?
tough.
Online gigs are the worst.
It was tough, and you really don't get paid. Our royalties weren't very very high. Honestly, like it's really not like it's not that great. It's also so a lot of like how we manage our finances as a band, like how we put up shows and even merch is from like honestly shares from when we play gigs, and it was tough. And also our previous guitarist at the time left the band. And so at the time we were honestly, and also we were kind of managerless. That was
for a while.
that was before
Yeah.
our manager now, Nina, was our manager when we started in college. We were org mates also. We were like homegrown just like her, and she left for work for a while. So we were really we kind of didn't have a direction. And I think what happened was we were not going to be like, oh, let's disband. I thought it was just gonna die a slow death. Like for me, I thought it was gonna be like,
Parang you're not talking to each other anymore.
Yeah.
and because honestly, we didn't have like that much difficult conversations back then. I don't think it was it was a space that we could up until honestly after that. And I think that's what saved it. It's kind of like the Joe Bros moment, like the Jonas Brothers. We talked about it as brothers, and we finally got back together. It's like honestly, we kind of had to have like a very very difficult conversation. Like, okay, how do we see this? Like, what is going to happen now? Who's gonna take up like a bit more of the leadership role? What's the plan? And like honestly, since then, also like rejuvenating the band was finding our current guitarist Anton, who's like just such a golden retriever. He's like such a good guy. And honestly, that was around the time where I honestly didn't know if we were going to continue. So that's why a lot of the recent years, like the last 2 years, have been a lot sweeter, and I think we can talk to each other like much better. I would reckon that before we were more like friends. Now it's a bit more like, I think Soph's my sister. Parang ganun yung feeling na I can be a little bit more ganito. And even like with the others, we're definitely much more open, having like tougher conversations, which is the reason why we're still doing it now. It was tough before talaga. There was just no space to do it, I think.
So for my last question, if you could show the 2017 version of the band one moment from your career right now, which one would blow their minds the most?
I think showing them off, like those bright-eyed kids, naka-UP, naka-UP lanyard, naka-PE uniform. If we showed them the turnout of our 6th anniversary show, like we were in 123 block, we were playing with our friends in the industry, like the Ridleys, Over October, Siddhartha. Who else was there? Do you remember? All right. But we were playing with friends within the industry, and we brought in also Riz Lansangan, who's like in Japan, one of like honestly one of my formative like artists in the industry. And I think like 1,800 people showed up to the show.
Oh, ng 1.8.
Like I think total. Yeah, I think it was like 1.6, 1.8, like everyone total.
What?
Yeah. So so let's do like a
Conservative 1.2.
Let's do a cool 1.5. Let's do a cool one. So
But it's still a lot.
so yeah.
Yeah, that's
So like 1,500 people came to this show, and we thought honestly like, oh, they're probably gonna leave when it's our time, when we play at the end. But like no, like people were there. That was the only time. I don't know if you've cried anytime else on stage, but that was the first time I cried on stage.
I cried because
Yeah, it was just like weird, surreal experience where like all of these people showed up for us. Merch was sold out. Like all of these people, whether or not that they actually knew us or maybe they knew Clouds and all. Like I felt after that night, and we played with the horn section and all. It's like hopefully all these people left with something good, because I felt like on top of the world. It was the first time I've ever felt like, whoa, this community, whether maybe we're not the highest streaming band like on platforms like Spotify, but then like when we're out there, when we're talking to people, it's like, whoa, like people show up for us, they dance along with us, they will scream. Like that's the loudest I think I've heard anyone like scream our songs. And I think if they saw that, I think lalaki yung ulo nila, the 2017 people. Pero they'd be like, oh, there's something to look forward
Pwede pala,
to.
yeah.
Pwede pala. Like yung mga 4 or 5 gigs during the weekends nung college, just papasok ka ng Monday, oh my God, 7 a.m.
Yeah,
Worth it pala.
Lugi ka pa kasi ikaw nagbayad ng Grab mo.
yeah.
Gate share 200. It's like, okay lang. Okay lang. Kaya pala.
I think for me, it would be the songs that we put out now. I kind of have a feeling that we grew up at like a single day. Parang, for me, there's a stark difference between the people we were in 2020 versus the people we became in 2022 onwards. Like, I don't know if it's just because we're all like kind of similar in age, but I feel like there was a sudden like growth spurt. Like in both in like our personal lives. Like I'll tell sometimes, like I remember I had this conversation with Lada and I was like, Lada, I think your frontal lobe developed na.
Oh yeah.
Parang when you turn 25, I like you're different. You're a completely different person from like 2 weeks ago. Parang ganun.
We were in the van. We were asking, like, is it true? Because
is it true?
I was turning 25 in like a few months. Like, please let it be true.
Parang, so our Cobalt Blue, I think, is the song that I would first use to characterize like this new era. Like Cobalt Blue onwards versus pre-Cobalt Blue for me is so different. Like lyrically, sonically, even like live performance wise. So, and personally, I'm honestly a lot, I think, prouder of the work that we're doing now, because I think we are allowing ourselves to be more intentional. Again, as students, we were like, whatever, let's just do this and that, and let's see where this goes. Parang, let's just do this until we can't anymore. But now I think there's more of a vision. And I don't think 17-year-old me would have thought that she could be so intentional in whatever art she was doing. Because I didn't even think I was gonna be anything creative. Like I was a journalism student, and then prior to that, I don't know. Like I didn't think art was like a viable career in general. So I think if like 17-year-old me heard like our most recent release, she'd be like, "Whoa, you can write that? Like, you can do that?" Or like I also do a lot of the art for our band, like cover art or event art or whatever. So I think if 17, 18-year-old any names okay saw like the stuff we were playing or writing, they'd be like, "Whoa, we can do that." Like,
okay, Unc.
we have that in us. Yeah. Parang, yeah. Like we're not just writing clouds anymore. Like we're not just writing songs like clouds anymore. Like, you know, yeah. So I think it's really
Very
that.
cool. Very awesome. So there, if you have any final words to your supporters, your not fans, your friends, you can just say it in front of the camera.
Come to our show on November 22. It's our 8th anniversary show. See you there.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of fun times to be had, and I think in general also in the message of like growing up, because we're turning 8 years old the November 22 is the event, but like we just like to say honestly thank you to every single person who has ever listened, played 5 seconds of a song of ours. Maybe you've heard of us. Maybe you're like the parent of a child who listens to us. Like genuinely, thank you. Every single thing that's happened to us from now on in our personal lives, in the way that we like run our creative like endeavors here, like you guys have changed our lives completely. And I think we don't get to say that a lot. But
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Very
And
much.
Chris is such a great guy, right, guys?
Thank
Come on, more. Come on.
Thank you.
Always make sure that you
My
like,
favorite podcast.
make sure you subscribe, follow.
This is my favorite podcast.
Yes. No, but honestly, Chris was one of my favorite things we've ever done. Like this conversation was so fun. Like I loved it very
Thank
much.
you.